Good morning everyone, and welcome to my craft room this morning. Well, I didn't intend on doing a video this morning, but someone asked how I did something the other day, so I thought I would cover it in a little video. So today I'm using the lavender sheet, and what I did was using it sort of resembles the sheet I started to cut, and then I thought I better turn the camera on. So the topper from here, I've literally gone in with my stitched edge round die, and it's cut the border off, but that's fine because what I like to do anyway is I like to pop a little bit of ink around the outside anyway. So there's my lavender topper ready. The sentiment I cut out with my loopy die, and what I did was I matched it so the inside of the die was on the inside of the topper, and then when it cuts around the outside, it's cut the white of the paper around the edge. It was just, I did a card the other day and someone asked how I got the white on the edge, so I thought I would do a little example. So there's that, and then I have just fussy cut out some little lavender pieces from the kit. I just need to do one more. So there's 4 lavender little embellishments on the sheet. What I've done with the 4th one is I have used my little tiny paper punch to punch over the lavender flowers on the sheet to give me exactly the same colour. Not too precise. There we go, quick and easy. So what I've done is I've used a tiny little paper punch, and I've literally gone in and punched over the flower, and it's give me the imprint on the little flowers. So when I form these and pop them on top, it'll look like little flowers. I also did a couple extra of the purple, because you do get a plain purple sheet, which I have done my mat for the main topper, and you also get a lovely lacy effect one and a polka dot one. So I have run my card blank through a Spellbinders embossing folder, and it's the E3D026 if anyone's interested. It's the peony one. I love this one. So I've just run it through the embossing folder. It's a white 7x7 card blank, and then I'm just going to take my mat. In there, pop some wet glue on the back, place that on here, using a little bit of sacrificial card, just give that a firm press. And then using a tape pen, I'm just gonna, and you can use whatever you like, you'll find your preference, your favourites for your adhesives. I like the little lacy edge to be lifted off the card. I don't like to stick that down. I think it's quite pretty, but that's my personal preference. So I'm just going to pop this on top. Then I'm going to take my little sentiment, and as I said, usually with these toppers I like to add a little bit of ink around the outside, but when you've got a nice shaped mat like this, I don't feel you need to as much. So I'm just going to pop that down here, my little sentiment, and then I'm going to pop on some of my, I'm just gonna, not a lot, I'm just gonna pop a little bit of shape around the outside flowers, and that'll just help give it a tiny little bit of elevation on the card. I'm just gonna put hot glue on here, and then pop a little bit of wet glue on the stem. I want the stem to be flat to the card, but I want the flowers to have a little bit of elevation. So taking that and holding it where there's a bit where there's no glue, holding the stem, pop that in place. As per usual, I've got little glue tails everywhere. This one I'm just going to cut down the stem just a little bit, and the same again, I'm just going to add a little bit of shape around the outside. Then we'll pop a little bit of wet glue on the stem. You could use foam pads for this, it's just I've got hot and cool multi glue sticks and I just like using them for lifting things off the page. There we go. And this one I'm going to cut a little bit shorter that way, and I'm going to have it going in a different direction. So I'm going to pop a little bit of shape around the outside. Not a lot, all you want them to do is just to lift those very outside edges. A little bit of wet glue on the stem. Thank you for all the lovely comments in the Facebook group this week. You know, the support of you guys is absolutely amazing. The group wouldn't be what it is today without you guys participating, so thank you so much. And don't be shy. If there's anything you would like to see or any design requests you have, feel free to reach out. If you're not on Facebook and you don't do Facebook, there's always Patreon as well. Now Patreon is a platform that's partnered with YouTube, and it's very popular for like foodie bloggers and travel bloggers. A lot of the woodworkers and upcyclers and DIYers that I watch use it. So platforms are Patreon. It's free to go on and use. There's a lot of free content on there, but if you would like to support the channel, if you would like to contribute and you would like access to all the freebies that each tier comes to, go on and have a look. There's different tiers and all come with different benefits. But as I say, there's lots of free stuff on there as well, so feel free to pop over and have a look. As I say, not everyone's on Facebook. So I'm just taking my tiny little paper punched flowers and I'm just going to add, these are the ones you can tell, these are the ones that I've punched out from the lavender. And then these ones are just from the plain purple sheet that was included in the kit. So and I'm just waiting a little bit for that glue to turn a little tacky. It's a lot easier to use when it's like that. And while I'm waiting, I thought I'd just make a little twine bow for me over the top of my little bow case. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking my twine, holding it between my index finger and my thumb. I'm going to anchor it by keeping it in this finger, and I'm just going to go around my index finger, round the finger next to it. Then I'm going to pass the twine through in between my fingers and then pull it through. And then if you can see there's a little loop here, what you need to do is you need to tuck that underneath and then pull it nice and tight. And there's my little single loop little twine bow now to make that smaller. and just give a little tug at the loops and then pull the tails down. It'll make your bow even smaller. So I'll just pop that to one side. It's a lot easier to see that when you're doing ribbon. So let's do a ribbon one for you. So holding it between my thumb and my index finger, loop the ribbon over, take it between your index finger and your next finger, then loop it round the back, then bring it between your two fingers, pass it through. Now it's a lot easier to see when you're doing with ribbon. You want to take the tail under here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it round to the front and pass the tail through, and then just if you give it a little tug, it'll make your little bow, and then you just cut off the tails. So that should be a little bit tackier now, so I'm just going with a pair of tweezers. I was doing the bathroom at the weekend and I've had a few casualties. I've lost a few of me nails, so it'll be easier to pick these up with the tweezers. So I'm just popping these on top. Giving it a good mix across the colours. So there's some of the real ones and some of the lilac ones. So I'm just gonna snip this down. And I'm just going to take the tiniest little bit of hot glue. And a lot of people say, how do you just do tiny little bits with a hot glue? The key is it's a metal tip. It gives you so much, the longer the tip and it being metal gives you so much more precision. And I've used a glue gun for over 30 years because I'm a fully qualified florist. And glue guns have always been part of my life, and I used to use glue pots and tubs and everything. Just like a small little glue gun because it's easy for to hold. When you get the bigger ones, I've got bigger ones and they're in the workshop in the garage. They're too big, they're too bulky, and they're not very forgiving on my hands, so they cramp up. So I'm better off with a small one. And I have a cool melt one as well. But the glue sticks that I use are multi, the hot and cool. So I use the same glue sticks in both of them. But both the cool melt and the hot melt have a long and metal nib, and it helps you just to get tiny little bits of glue where you need it. Right, so pop that on there. And then what I would normally do is I would wait for that to dry. But you don't have the luxury of time. I want to show you how I put these on. So using my liquid pearls, liquid pearls from Ranger, just give the bottle a good shake. And give it a squeeze down over. Just try and push out the liquid pearls to the bottom, so that when I open it, because I am 2/3 of the way through the bottle, so you're quite prone to get little air blocks. So just give that a little squeeze. And all I'm wanting to do is create tiny little centers for the flowers. You can't even see from there. There we go. So tiny little centers for the flowers. You could use little micro beads for this if you've got them. Prills, pollen. Now just feel a little bit of air blocking in the stem, so I always have my trusty reel of wire next to us when I'm working. I'll just push that down the stem as far as I can, give it a little wiggle, pull it out. Brilliant, that's got rid of the little air block in it. Right, so there's my little lavender bouquet done, and there's my little card finished. I hope you've liked this one, just a little quick one. If you do, let us know and I'll definitely do more. Take care, have a great day. See you in the next video. Bye.